Operational troubles in rapid gravity filters. So here we have basically three difficulties what we come across in this rapid gravity filter. The first one is air binding, second one is formation of mud balls, third one is cracking of filters. So basically what will happen is in air binding there will be some air bubbles that are generated during the treatment, because of which your operation is going to get hindered. Similarly, formation of mud balls is suspended particles are going to come together to form a larger molecule. Again, those will settle down, in turn they cause difficulty for the regular operation. And the cracking of filters is nothing but the top layer of the sand will have few of the cracks because of the fineness what it has. So as and when the rate of filtration increases, even this size of the cracks increases, and in turn your efficiency is going to come down. So this is in general what these operation troubles are. So in the next slide we'll go into the individual of these operational troubles, and we'll check out what are the preventive measures that needs to be followed for this. Okay, first one is air binding. So let us first understand how this air binding will occur. So let us try to draw this. Imagine this as your treatment plant. In that, the first layer is regarding sand, then you have gravel, then you have your under drainage system. Okay. So out of this, let us see, on top of this I will be having again water, which will be standing on top of sand. Okay, so let us try to zoom in into this particular portion. Okay, I'll try to zoom in into this particular portion. So what we'll do is, imagine this is your top surface of water, sorry, yeah, imagine this, yeah, as the top surface of sand, not water, and these are the sand particles what we have. These are the finest sand particles what we have, and similarly we have the next layer beneath them. Okay, so at this point of time what will happen is, the water is there on top, it contains all the suspended particles. Okay, so during this regular filtration, so the water will move in the downward direction, right? So as and when it is passing down, actually what happens here, you can see the water will pass through the voids which are there in this what I can say sand particles. Yeah, so as and when it moves up, so these sand particles will collect, or else will hold up all the suspended particles which are there. Yeah, so this is how something it is going to be. Now if imagine this raw water contains any of the organic pollutants. So whenever I said pollutants, the pollutants may be of two types. One is organic, one more is inorganic. Okay, we have only these two types. So again in this it may be suspended or it may be even dissolved. The same thing will be over here. Now let us see if this particular water contains inorganic solid. So inorganic solid, the best examples will be again your soil particles or sand particles. So whenever those sand particles are there, they'll be inert in their section. So they will not interact with anything else. So only these will be settling down, and they'll be just keeping quiet as it is until they are cleared out. So based on that, what will happen? So inert material, whenever it is settling down, it is not going to cause much of a problem. But the problem comes if it is organic suspended. So what are these organic suspended particles? One example out of this organic suspended can be your microorganisms. So what all microorganisms? We may have bacteria, we may have your algae, we may have your fungi. So which may be which are present in this raw water. In turn, whenever they settle down over here, imagine this. Let us say this yellow color is visible. Let us take green. Okay, so this green is indicating, let us say these what I can say algae or microbes which are settled over here. Even in the second layer these are settled down here. Okay, so as and when the water is passing through, what these microbes will do is, if any of the organic matter is there, that is in the form of dissolved or suspended, again dissolved or suspended, what they will do is they will consume that particular organic matter. So all these algae will try to degrade or consume that organic matter. So whenever they consume it, basically there will be some evolution of gas, or else they are going to emit some kind of gas. So this gas may include your carbon dioxide, it may include your hydrogen sulfide, even it may include your methane. So based on the type of microorganism, so basically any one of these gases may be evolved. So as and when these gases are evolved, what will happen is, I'll try to show it here. So imagine this, here those microorganisms are there and they are emitting those gas, and entire surface area or entire volume of this tank is covered with water. So there are no air voids. So because of which what will happen, so this air will get trapped and make this air bubble. Okay, so this, because of the water which is surrounding everywhere with all the pressure, so this air bubble will not be able to escape out of this unit. Okay, and as and when this treatment continues or degradation with the microbes continue, so what will happen, the amount of gas generated will be more. So imagine if the gas is generating like this, now what will happen, effective area for filtration is now reduced. Because of that air voids, the water will not pass through that air because of the pressure, so it will just go side and then it will filtrate it down. So because of that, what will happen, the amount of effective filtration will be less. So because of this, what will happen, again your efficiency will come down. And one more important thing is, if imagine the gas is methane, and if the temperature over here is increased, or else at any if the pressure is increased, so there is a chance of this getting exploded. So again that is a dangerous for the workers or the treatment unit which is going to be there. So that's why we want to reduce this. So this is basically what we mean by air binding problem. Now to prevent this, let us see what all different things we have. So the preventive techniques for this is, first of all, avoid development of excessive negative head. So what do you mean by this negative head? Negative head in the sense what? The resistance offered for the flow of water. So as and when the resistance is more, your negative head will be more. So that needs to be reduced. Second thing, the depth of water for filtration can be increased. So what they say is, if the resistance is more, so let us again draw this simple figure. Imagine this as your sand layer. Here we have all the filter media and here we have the water. So what the second point is trying to indicate over here is, if the resistance over here is more, even that to go against this resistance, what they are saying is, you can increase the depth of water. So instead of regular one, you can again increase this depth of water to a higher height or else higher depth, where because of this pressure the water can pass through. So this is what is being told in the second point. Now third one is controlling the growth of algae, that is the growth of these particular organisms needs to be controlled. The last one is supersaturate water with air, that is here to reduce this negative head as well as to have a proper section, so we can supersaturate or else we can aerate the water before it enters into this chamber. So again this can help in reducing the air binding problem. Formation of mud balls. So this is the second type of operational trouble what we usually face. So let us see how these mud balls are formed. So again I am going to draw the same treatment unit. I have sand layer, I have gravel layer, and I have the under drainage systems. So at this point of time you can check it out. On top I have water. Okay, so let us again try to zoom in what is actually happening over here. So I'll just try to do this. This is our top layer. Here I have my sand particles, finest, which are there. Okay. Now please see this. As per the theory of filtration, what we have studied in the previous sessions, so each of these voids which are there will act as its own sedimentation tank. Each of these will act as a own sedimentation tank. I hope you remember this, right? So as per that, what actually happens over here? So let us see the water which is here is filtered. So all the suspended particles or inert particles or even the mud particles are being settled over here. What happens as and when the treatment continues, the size of these particles will increase. Okay, so based on the size and the property of material that is being held up over here, if it is, let us say, something called as black cotton soil particles, so as and when it become moist, basically it will become sticky, right? So that because of such kind of properties, even these mud balls will grow, or else these suspended particles will come in together to form a larger ball, and in turn they even attach to the sand particles. And as and when this treatment continues, and if the proper washing is not happening at a proper time, then what will happen is this size will go on increasing, because of which the even the weight of this will be increased. So what will happen, it will start to settle down because of its weight. So what actually happens over here is, if the mud balls are forming something like this, because of their weight, what will happen, they will try to settle down. In the worst case where the treatment unit is not properly maintained, so that time what will happen, these mud balls can actually pass through the entire filter media, and they can even reach the base material. So you can check it out, if at proper time, if the back washing is not being done, so such kind of problems are going to be there. So as and when it reaches down, the whatever the top material is there, so that has been disturbed because of its movement. So here the amount, or else the quality of filtration will not be good. Second thing, as and when these are settling down, what actually happens, again the effective area for settlement or else filtration is, again it is disturbing, or else it is becoming less. So because of that, what will happen, again your amount of filtration or quality or efficiency of filtration will reduce over here. So this is how the mud balls are formed over here. Now let us see what are the preventive techniques that we can use. So the first one is use of mechanical rakes. So what do you mean by this is, if you observe any of these formation of mud balls, even in their smallest size, what you can do is, you can just try to scrape off. Scrape off in the sense, we are not going to take this material out as we are doing in the slow sand filter, but here we will try to just what I can say, rake this or else agitate this top portion layer. Okay, so only we are going to agitate, or we are going to just mix up the top layer of sand. Second one is use pressurized water. So that is, we can utilize during the back washing what pressurized water we are using. So at that time, even these mud balls will be taken up because of that higher pressure. Third one is use of compressed air. So in the previous slide, what we have seen regarding the fifth valve, which is connected to the compressor. So why we use that compressor? Whenever such kind of difficulties are there, only with that air actually we can reduce this particular aspect. So that's why this valve 5 will be used only when it is required. So using during the regular working procedure or during the back washing, valve 5 will be closed. So that is use of air compressor or else compressed air. Next is surface washing and use of chemicals. That is, you can wash, means basically you can add few chemicals. So those chemicals can react with these mud balls and they can break these mud balls. They can break these mud balls. So as and when these will break, automatically the difficulties what it causes will be reduced. And the last one is change of filter media. In the worst case, when the formation of mud balls are huge, and that because of which you are getting a lot of difficulty, at that time the entire filtering media can be replaced entirely. So this is the second type of difficulty what we face, that is formation of mud balls. Now the last one is cracking of filters. So let us see how this cracking of filter works. Okay, take this. Okay, again we have the same treatment unit, sand, filter, your gravel and under drainage system. Okay, at this point of time, cracking of filter is again related to the top portion. Okay, so over here, so if I try to zoom in, okay, what actually happens here? Imagine I zoom in this part and I am looking from the top. So imagine this as something like this. Okay, this is a plan. So all these these sand particles are present over here. We can check it out. Very fine, top layer will have very fine sand, right? So very fine sand particles are somewhere, something like this, they are placed. Okay, so what will happen is, because of the fineness of these sand, okay, as and when the treatment continues, so there will be some minute, because of the shrinkage of the sand, there will be some minute cracks that are going to develop into these. So as and when the small cracks are developed, since the water is being pushed downwards under pressure, since it is a rapid gravity filter, means the rate of filtration will be more, so that's why these particular cracks are going to increase in its size as and when the treatment continues. So as and when the crack increases, obviously instead of filtering, the water will directly pass through these cracks. Okay, and especially these cracks are quite evident on these edges. That is the edge of, let us say like this is the edge of that tank what you have, and this is the sand where it is meeting. So at this edges, okay, so basically these cracks will be much more prominent. So because of what will happen, the water which is there will try to pass through the least resisting flow, or else the least resisting path. So the water will just come here and it will try to flow down to the lower layer. So because of which again your efficiency will come down. So this is nothing but your cracking of filters, what it is there. Now let us see what are the preventive measures. So preventive measures for this will be same as the preventive measures what we have used for the mud ball formation in the previous slide. So the same mechanical racking, use of pressurized water, pressurized air, your replacement of entire filter media. So the similar things can be used over here. Now I'll just read these slide once. Fine sand particles in top layer shrinks and forms crack in the sand layer, that is being explained here. It is more prominent along the edges of the filter, so that is being explained here. So why this will happen is because one type of material will meet the another type of material, where such kind of cracks will be much more prominent. As the filtration continues, pressure on the sand increases. In turn, it causes widening of these cracks. So crack widening will be there, and filtration efficiency is reduced due to this cracking. So again, remedy measures, preventive measures is same as mud ball formation, preventive measures what we had. So this is regarding the third operational trouble what we have and how to solve that. Now efficiency and filtration rate. Now usually the filtration rate over here will be around 3000 to 6000 liters per hour per square meter of filtration area. So again I'll try to revise this what we have previously done. Imagine this as the plan of your treatment unit. So this is your length L and this is your breadth B. Okay, at this point of time, if 1 square meter by 1 square meter area what we have, okay, it can actually filter 3000 to 6000 liter of water per hour. So that is basically the filtration rate what you are going to get. So this is around 30 times more than the slow sand filter. So because of this higher rate of filtration, it is less efficient in removing bacteria and turbidity. So bacterial removal percentage is around 80 to 90% over here, whereas turbidity will be removed up to 35 to 40 mg per liter. When you compare it with the slow sand filter, these values are quite small. Okay. Similarly, the economical and practically, so basically, since this particular treatment unit is quite famous in most of the treatment plants, what they do is, because of its advantages, that is, it has a smaller size, high rate of filtration, even from the sedimentation aided with coagulation water can be directly fed into this, because of which what it will happen is this is most widely adopted. So it is economical and practically used for treatment of public water supplies. Why we use this for public water supply? Even though we have less percentage of bacterial removal as well as turbidity removal is because of its practicability which is there when you compare it with the slow sand filter. And the effluent of this particular treatment unit will usually be disinfected before it is given to the public water supply. So even in the first slide of filters, during that explanation I have told you, so even this disinfection is required after the rapid gravity filters. So this is regarding the efficiency and filtration rate of the rapid gravity.